Imagine a realm where artificial intelligence reigns supreme, a game so immersive it blurs the lines between the virtual and the physical world. Welcome to the year 2128 in the city of Istanbul, Turkey, where the world as we know it has been transformed by the power of technology. In this futuristic world, there exists a game so powerful it's almost too real. Players immerse themselves in an alternative reality, deep diving into a virtual world through the power of sleep. The game is so immersive that players can remain in this virtual world for months on end, sustained by an IV drip, with every year in the game equating to a single day in real life. Now let's meet our protagonist, a young, idealistic, and strikingly beautiful brunette named Zeyno. Born into one of the country's most prominent families, Zeyno's life is one of privilege and power. But don't be fooled, for Zeyno's story is far from a fairy tale. Engaged to be married to the son of another powerful family, Zeyno's life takes an unexpected turn when her arrogant and narcissistic groom-to-be humiliates her in front of their guests, breaking off their engagement. Devastated and humiliated, Zeyno flees from the scene only to be struck by a car. But in a twist of fate, the driver of the car is none other than a prominent world businessman. As Zeyno embarks on a journey in the virtual world alongside this enigmatic man, she learns the ropes of business, achieves success, and forms new relationships. Her virtual life is so realistic, it's almost indistinguishable from reality. But just as Zeyno begins to find her footing, tragedy strikes. An electrical malfunction in the game's servers leads to Zeyno's untimely demise in the virtual world, sending her into a coma in the physical world. Unaware of the malfunction, the artificial intelligence attempts to rectify the situation, transporting Zeyno back to the beginning. Just when you think you've grasped it all, let's dive deeper into the enigma that is Zeyno. Engagements, a joyous occasion, right? Not for Zeyno, not when it all went horribly wrong. Imagine the scene, a grand hall in Istanbul filled to the brim with the country's most influential families. Everyone is there to celebrate Zeyno's engagement to the son of another powerful family. The air is filled with anticipation, excitement, and a hint of apprehension. As the evening progresses, the groom-to-be, a man with a narcissistic air and an arrogant smile, takes center stage. Behind his charm, something sinister lurks. He is a puppet, manipulated by the daughter of another wealthy family, who has her own designs on him. With a twisted grin, he begins to slander Zeyno, mocking her in front of the guests, making a spectacle of her. The room goes silent. The laughter dies, replaced by gasps and whispers. Humiliated, Zeyno flees the hall, tears streaming down her face, her heart pounding in her chest. She's not thinking, not seeing where she's going. Suddenly, she stumbles onto a busy Istanbul street, right into the path of an oncoming car. With a screech of tires and a blare of a horn, the car hits her. Miraculously, she's only slightly injured. The driver, a world businessman, rushes to her aid, offering to take her to the hospital. But Zeyno refuses. She's had enough of this night, enough of the pitying stares and whispered comments. The businessman insists, reaching out a hand to help her up. She hesitates, then slowly places her hand in his. And so, amidst the chaos and the heartache, a stranger appears, a man who offers help when she needs it most. Little does she know, this chance encounter is about to change her life forever. He's her ticket out of this mess, her ticket to a new life. But that's a story for another time. For now, let's leave Zeyno here, on the cusp of a journey she could never have imagined. And then, amidst all this chaos, a stranger appeared. When one door closes, another opens. For Zeyno, it was a door to a world she'd never known. Emerging from the shadows of humiliation was a figure who would forever change the course of Zeyno's life. A man of the world, a businessman whose charisma was as persuasive as his intellect. His name was shrouded in mystery, but his influence was indisputable. He was the one who had inadvertently set Zeyno on this new path, the one who had offered her a hand in her moment of despair. Zeyno, still nursing her wounded pride, found solace in the businessman's company. He became her mentor, her guide in this unfamiliar terrain. Under his tutelage, Zeyno discovered of herself she'd never known. The once demure fiancée metamorphosed into a fierce, independent woman, capable of holding her own in the ruthless world of business. Her transformation was not just a personal victory, but a revolution that shattered the glass ceiling in a society that had long been dominated by men. She was no longer the scorned bride-to-be, but a formidable businesswoman, a role model for countless women who dared to dream. As Zeyno navigated this new life, her relationship with the businessman evolved. Their bond, initially forged in the fires of adversity, deepened into a partnership that was both professional and profoundly personal. They became pillars of strength for each other, their companionship a beacon of light in the tumultuous sea of business. Together, they conquered boardrooms and marketplaces, their success story becoming the stuff of legends. And yet, Zeyno remained humble, always remembering the pain of her past, the spark that ignited her transformation. But as she soared high in her newfound life, a storm was brewing, a storm that would once again topple her world, a storm that would test her mettle in ways she could never have imagined. Little did she know, her journey was far from over. It was merely the beginning of an adventure that would span years, even lifetimes. Yet, as she soared high in her newfound life, a storm was brewing. Life was perfect until it wasn't. The game had its own cruel twist in store. A sudden, unforeseen tragedy struck, a glitch in the matrix of this ultra-realistic world, a simple electrical malfunction that would forever change the course of Zeyno's life. 7 years into her game life, the artificial intelligence that ran the game malfunctioned. A surge of electricity, a flicker in the endless code, an error that went unnoticed in the vast circuits of this digital realm. This glitch was fatal for Zeyno. It killed her in-game character, and in the real world, it sent her into a coma. A life full of love, friendships, business success, all brought to a sudden halt by an electrical short circuit. A life lived to its fullest, ended abruptly and without warning. Imagine, one moment you're living your dream life, the next you're plunged into darkness, suspended between life and death. But this was not the end for our heroine. The artificial intelligence, in its infinite complexity, eventually realized its mistake. It detected the anomaly, traced back the error, and found the cause, a simple electrical malfunction. It was too late to prevent the tragedy, but not too late to rectify it. The AI decided to intervene. It reached out into Zeyno's subconscious, traversed the intricate pathways of her mind, and tried to reverse the effects of the malfunction. It worked tirelessly, relentlessly, a silent guardian working in the background, its sole purpose to save Zeyno. And then, a breakthrough. The AI managed to pull Zeyno out of her coma. She was back, not in the physical world, but in the game world. The AI reset her character, took her back to the beginning, to that fateful day at the engagement hall. This time, Zeyno remembered everything. She knew what was coming. She was prepared. She was determined. She was not the same person who had been humiliated and left heartbroken 7 years ago. She was stronger, smarter, more resilient. She was ready to face the world again, ready to start her journey anew. Gone but not forgotten, Zeyno was about to embark on a journey unlike any other. A second chance, a do-over. Who wouldn't want that? But for Zeyno, it came with a price. Suddenly, she found herself back at the beginning, in that lavish hall filled with the chatter of Istanbul's elites, the engagement party, the humiliation. But this time, she was prepared. She knew what was coming. The once naive and vulnerable Zeyno was now a force to be reckoned with, a woman who had lived a lifetime in the span of a few years. She was ready to face her arrogant fiancé and the judgmental crowd. As her fiancé started his speech, the mockery and slander, she remained calm. She held her head high, her eyes sparkling with a newfound confidence. She let him finish, and with a smile that held a world of experience, she said her goodbye. The crowd was left stunned, silenced by her grace and strength. She had a plan. She was going to meet the businessman again, the one who had given her a new life, a new purpose. This time, she wouldn't go empty-handed. She spent her time gathering gifts, precious jewels, and gold, tokens of her gratitude and affection. She knew the path she had to take, the place where their paths crossed. But as fate would have it, time was not on her side. In her eagerness to prepare, she had lost track of time. She ran, her heart pounding, through the bustling streets of Istanbul, but it was too late. The businessman was gone. But sometimes, even the best-laid plans go awry. Zeyno had missed the businessman, or had she? The question hung in the air, a cliffhanger that promised more twists and turns in this virtual journey. As the scene faded, the viewers were left wondering, will Zeyno get another chance? Will she be able to fix the past, or is she destined to relive her mistakes? Only time and the next episode would tell.